program is going to be eliminated, an institution that plans to do that has to find a way to make sure students are taken care of, to either complete that degree or to figure out a way so that they can complete the program that they started. And so I think there is every reason to expect that even if the program doesn't continue long-term, that the institution will be committed to figuring out a way to help you complete the program that you're already in.
Okay, I have a very patient question over here.
A patient question.
Patient question.
Thank you for coming out. I know there's a lot of animosity about the whole thing.
We'd like to say passion.
Passion about the whole process. And my question you may not be able to answer, and I know a lot of my personal ire sits with the Board of Regents and not with either of you. But I didn't know if you could shed any light on why the Board of Regents has decided to go through with this particular merger or consolidation, especially with last year's principles for consolidation. The tenets being one of the tenets being specifically to consolidate schools to avoid duplication of academic programs and to ensure as much possible cultural fit between universities in their mission statements. And then also why we've already picked a name and colors and stuff when in all the previous 4 consolidations, this was information that was always put into the initial, post-initial steps for implementation teams to discuss and debate and come up with the best answer. I didn't know if, I know these are not things that either of you were involved in directly, but I didn't know if you could shed any light on this so that maybe we as a body could be more informed and then target our passion in the right, most constructive path.
You're right. You're right that I can't shed any light on it. I'm sorry. Dan?
I can't shed any light on the second part of it. On the first part, I think I can. And again, I understand that there's a tremendous disagreement on perspectives. But the complementarity of Kennesaw State's programs and Southern Poly's programs are what I believe led to the decision to combine Southern Poly and Kennesaw State.
And proximity of the campuses.
And proximity of the campuses.
I have a question here.
Yes.
Earlier there was a question that had to do with class size and with who is going to teach the classes, grad students, etc. Some of the faculty here at SPSU, and in fact in some departments a significant portion of the faculty, have been and continue to be full-time temporary faculty. I believe KSU implements rules for hiring full-time temps differently than SPSU. And I and a number of my colleagues are concerned that we would like someone to consider the future role of such full-time temps and figure out how it's going to be moved forward. At the appropriate time, please let us know.
That is, in fact, exactly one of the decisions, one of the discussions that will take place, not just by the implementation committee, but also by several faculty subcommittees.
And that's definitely on the list of things where we know we need to figure out how to come together and be consistent and keep you informed.
Okay, I have another question here.
Hello, Dr. Rossbacher.
Hey.
My name is Ben Moss. I graduated here in 2010. I actually served on student government as public relations chairman. The disc golf course, I actually put that in. I serve now on the Alumni Association, and I represent you guys. So we have an opportunity to sometimes get to hear some people that we can pass along what's important to you. So I wanted to let you all know that you can go to our Facebook page, and I promise you that I will make it my goal to update that with anything that I may learn in this process. And another thing, I'm so proud of you.
How does somebody find that Facebook page?
You guys are smart. We're all technology students. say, actually, I don't know if you know this. My dad went here. I was actually an RA in the hall my dad lived in the 80s. I actually have his vocational thing where he went to his class. They have ashtrays in the study. My point is that everything changes, guys. Like CE versus CET. The Board of Regents, they didn't allow engineering for years. So I picked CET when I transferred. It's a long story, but I grew to love this place. I grew to love what I was taught. Professor Wellendell in the CE department was rough. We still talk about it. I get to play golf with the alumni one time, and we all could connect over just how hard it was. So don't get caught up on the name Southern Polytechnic State University. It's the merit of all of us. All of us introverts, all of us that study hard on Sunday, but everybody else is partying. So don't worry about it. Take care of it yourself. Don't blame anybody else. And let's do it together. The College of Southern Polytechnic at Kennesaw State University. I'm for it.
Hey, my name is Akiz. I'm an MA student, and my only question is, what will happen when you implement all of this? Will the KSU majors stay over there, and then we stay over here?
Now, there's a practical question. A significant number of Southern Poly students will stay here. A significant number will stay, a significant number of KSU students will stay there, and there will be a significant number moving back and forth. I think that is almost predictable. That is what is already happening at the other consolidated campuses.
Okay. Got another question over here, and we're running a little short on time, so I don't know if we're going to get through all the questions today.
Hi, my name is Derek Hoppers. I'm a civil engineering technology major. My question is, why choose us? Why not choose Life University or Georgia Highlands or somebody that has a more compatible major with Kennesaw State versus Southern Poly?
Right, because
Southern Poly is a technical-based school. I chose Southern Poly, one, for small class size, like most of all these other people. Two, I have a one-on-one with my teacher about once a week where I can sit down, she can go through everything that I didn't understand in class. And number three, I just don't want to graduate from Kennesaw State.
I was going to point out that not only is Life University it's a private institution, so it's not under the purview of the Board of Regents, but I can't imagine anything less similar to Kennesaw State than a chiropractic institution.
All right, we have a question over here.
Hey, my name's Chance, and I work at the rec center. Now, I like my job because I get a paycheck. But I love my job because of the people I work with. I've developed a family with the people that I sit at the front desk with, my bosses. I go get a gallon of water from the nurse every day because it's healthy. Do we have enough, do we have job security?
Let me be the first to point out that none of us do. But when we think about how this combined larger institution is going to serve over 31,000 students, we're going to need a lot of people to make that happen. And one of the things that we've been talking about is that this is not a matter of taking the structures of the two institutions and somehow forcing them together. This is going to be a process of thinking about what this new combined larger institution looks like and how we make that function and how it needs to be staffed to make it work the way it needs to and ultimately to serve students in the best way possible. And so individual positions are likely to change, but and some of the savings will exist in the administrative areas and the back office places, but a lot of the service functions and certainly the instructional functions are going to continue to need to be provided. And so we can't make any promises about a particular job, but we're going to need a lot of support to make all this work and to serve all these students. I don't know what you want to add to that, Dan.
One of the other points of the consolidation, and I think Lisa's touched on this as well, is the effort to make both institutions together as a single institution even better than they are.
Well, as being an employee and being in the gym 20 to 25 hours a week, I can go ahead and suggest that we run our gym just fine.
And I would like to point out that when Dan was president here, he used that gym a lot. So he appreciates that.
All right.
We're going to need to wrap this up right at 5 o'clock, so we have time for just a couple more questions. Have
Okay.
one over here, Jim.
Hi, I'm Brianna Fountain. I'm an architecture student here at SPSU, my second year. And I have a question more specifically for Mr. Papp. We all know that when you come in, you're going to be the president of the new institution. And I was listening to your interview on the radio, and you said that the two schools complement each other. When in all, like we all know, they really don't. We know Southern Poly has a specific culture, and we know KSU has a specific cultures. We know Southern Poly has specific majors, and we know KSU has specific majors. So my question or series of questions is, how long did you know this was going to happen? You specifically. I know Ms. Rossbacher answered it, but how long did you know that this was going to happen? And do you honestly believe that the merger will be beneficial for both campuses? Are you in this because you're going to end up the president of a new super school?